With Dylan right now. She is in for Al. Hope you had a nice Christmas, by the way, with all the boys in your hood.
It was busy.
I've
got a lot to clean up right now.
How's it looking for folks today?
If you are traveling, it looks fine up and down the East Coast, weather-wise at least. It's a little bit chilly, but not as cold as it has been. It's really down through Texas into eastern Oklahoma, down through Arkansas and Louisiana, and also out west. We have another storm system making its way onshore. That means rain and mountain snow. Very difficult getting through the mountain passes. We could see some delays because of the heavier rain in Seattle, also in the Portland too. Dallas and Houston, especially later on today when those storms really get going, we could see some of those delays at the airports. And again, the roads through the mountain passes, some of the snowier spots will be slick going and also slow going down south where some of that rain could be a little heavy at times. So it's this cold front that's moving eastward across eastern Texas, down through Louisiana, up across Arkansas. So as we go into this afternoon and evening, we'll start to see the heavier rain and the thunderstorms. There's also some morning fog in the Midwest that could create some slowdowns and some delays at the airports early this morning. But then as we go into tomorrow, a lot of that rain will lift north and move up into the western Great Lakes. Just want to point out, hail and damaging winds will be the biggest threat with these storms, along with the heavier downpours. But there is the chance, especially through eastern Texas later on tonight, that we could see a few isolated tornadoes, Peter.
That's what they call a dynamic forecast. All right, Dylan, appreciate it very much. I'm going to get you, sucker. Sorry, go.
Yeah. All right, we've got, speaking of the white stuff, we've got some snow falling across the mountains up across the Pacific Northwest and rain along the coast from Seattle down to Portland, even into northwestern California, where we could see some heavier rain. Also heavy rain down through Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas. Later on today, we could see some severe storms. The Great Lakes, the Northeast, the Southeast, lots of sunshine, a little chilly, 30s and 40s, and even some 50s down through the Southeast, which is below average for this time of year. That's a look at the weather across the country. We'll get to your local forecast in the next 30 seconds.
Dylan Dreyer.
Let's do it. We've got a warm up to talk about in a lot of places today. Rapid City gets up to 53, same in Denver. Minneapolis up to 37, which doesn't sound that warm, but it's still 12 degrees above average. Tomorrow, that warmth tries to move to the east. We're seeing a high of 50 tomorrow in Chicago, Pittsburgh close to it, Nashville 60, Little Rock 65 degrees. And then across the Northeast, where it's been quite chilly lately, we are going to see temperatures get up into the mid 50s going into early next week. Wilmington gets up into the 60s and 70s. Cincinnati mid to upper 50s too, as we continue through the weekend. So now let's go into next week. When we start the new year, it actually looks like the Southwest, most of the West Coast and into the Northeast Great Lakes will see warmer than average temperatures, although it does come with a little bit of rain. We're going to see wetter than average conditions across the Northwest, dry down south. We are looking, though, for some cooler temperatures to take hold next week down through Florida and the Southeast. That's a look at the weather across the country. Now here's a peek out your window.
Storms. How bad's it going to get, Dylan?
Later on this afternoon and evening, we could see some severe storms, large hail, damaging winds. We can't rule out some isolated tornadoes across eastern Texas down near Houston later on today. The Northeast, the Southeast, all looks good, but you go out west, and that's where we are going to see some slow spots. A lot of heavy rain along the coast and a lot of snow in the mountain ranges. Seattle, Portland could see some delays. Dallas and Houston could see some delays, especially once those storms really get going. Would obviously make it slow on the roads too, as you see some of the ponding. And out west, we have to deal with some slippery conditions across the mountain passes. So we've got a series of storms moving onshore out west. Sometimes we'll see some of the heavier rain down across southwestern Oregon, northwestern California. Sometimes we'll see it up near Seattle. So we're going to see this chance of rain and heavier pockets of rain at that through the day today into tomorrow and beyond. We are also looking at as much as 2 to 3 up to 5 inches of rain in some of those areas from Portland into Medford down through Eureka, but also up into the mountains. We could end up with about 1 to 2 feet of snow. Again, that would make it difficult getting through some of those mountain passes if that's where you have to travel. Laura.
All right, Dylan, see you back in a bit.
Now to the growing
cozy feel after Christmas, right? We ate too much. We're just tired. We do have some interesting travel conditions across the Pacific Northwest, rain and mountain snow. Also some severe storms possible down through Texas today with this cold front moving eastward. That's going to trigger some of those storms. So we'll see those spread eastward as we go into this afternoon and evening. That's a look at the weather across the country. Now here's a peek out your window. And don't forget, if you're headed out the door, you can catch us on the radio at Sirius XM channel 108.
All right, you got some double duty. You got some pop start for us?
Shall we pop?
Pop star, right? We've been talking about Beyonce all morning, so let's keep it going. It's the halftime show We Can't Stop Talk. Blue Ivy showed off her line dancing moves in Mom's hometown. She was talking about.
All I'm saying is Blue Ivy is 12, but she is so grown up. I remember when she was just a nugget, as I like to say, right?
Can you do the Blue Ivy dance? With your tank top on?
A little one step to the right? No, don't.
Okay, you've got the moves.
I was going to say, careful what you ask for.
All right, next up, Wicked, the holiday Gifts just keep on coming.
To myself, if I did toss leg before I came out every day, it might look pretty good.
Yeah, and the eyebrows, you got it all.
Toss leg.
This is why you can't get Botox.
Toss,
You can get your eyebrows.
that's true. Toss
The eyebrows.
leg.
All right, guys, here's another treat. This morning, we can announce very soon you'll be able to watch Wicked and sing along at home. It's available to purchase and rent starting December 31st. And remember that special sing-along edition that Joe was talking about earlier? Well, now you can watch that at home, too,
amazing.
with all new bonus content and even more deleted scenes.
I'm in.
You can find the information over on today.com. Just a reminder, Wicked comes from our sister company, Universal Pictures. Okay, moving on. Happy Gilmore 2, a sequel nearly 3 decades in the making to start streaming, quote, soon.
Wait, was that Travis Kelce?
It was Travis
Is that his
Kelce,
cameo?
right?
Also, as for sure the best golfer on this couch, have you ever tried to hit the golf ball like that?
Everybody's tried to hit a golf ball like that.
I'm the only golfer on this couch.
I was going to say, I'm very
tried.
good. When the windmill stops, I'm smooth on the putting greens. Yeah.
All right, next up, Bridgerton. Next season, this Bridgerton brother will be taking center stage for season 4. Second half dropping in June. And now on to Andy Cohen. Yesterday, the king of Bravo celebrated to kids, and it's just broken.
Then let me say to Ben, grown-ups can't handle the slinky
No,
either,
no.
Ben, so don't worry about it, buddy.
It's a tough one, and there's no going back.
No,
once
it's over.
Out of the loop. All right, finally, Christopher Nolan, fresh off the success of Oppenheimer, the Universal Pictures hits theaters July 2026.
Well, that's going to be good.
Wow.
These movies are always epic. I mean, that's just makes sense to be the next thing.
The next Barbenheimer, what's the other part of it?
I know. We'll see what other movies up against it.
Dylan, that was a great pop start.
Well, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
wrote it myself.
I love that.
Right ahead, right here, the popular milk delivery service brings
Life that most women will experience. We're talking about menopause. More than 6,000 women enter menopause every day in this country. Yet surveys show the vast majority never receive treatment for their symptoms.
This morning, our special anchor, Maria Shriver, looks at a new medical program that's trying to change how women are cared for. Good morning, Maria.
on this day after Christmas. Whatever happened to the neighborhood milk ban?
It is a good question. It might sound as old-fashioned as a jukebox or maybe dial-up internet, but not in Seattle, Washington, where one company is still going door-to-door with dairy deliveries.
Yeah, they've been around for over 100 years, and our Morgan Chesky got to ride along on one milkman's route to see what's keeping customers so loyal. Hint, it's not just the milk. Good morning, Morgan.
What a legend.
I was going to say all the neighbors would come out and start pushing that milk truck to make sure they got their delivery.
The people want their milk. Guys, ahead on the third hour of today, Craig tries his hand at my favorite workout, a little bit of Pilates.
And then coming up on Hoda and Jenna, Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson opens up about her memoir. But first, your local news and weather.